Welcome to the second issue, if you like, of Coaching the Uncoachable. I'm going to smash that in and then we'll go out and do some training. Well, I'll be the judge of that, so yeah, okay, that. See, so not feeding that time, bite immediately, not foul looking. This could be Zolt's nemesis, an F1. Now I'm out with Zolt again today, and I know from all the comments and the word on the bank, just seeing a couple of people there this morning saying, Des, we absolutely love that, what you've done with like coaching Zolt, because that's reality. You know, that's the nitty gritty of match fishing, where you go to lots of different venues all over the country, you don't quite know. And this is what we're going to be doing over the next 2 days. We are at a stunning fishery. I always say that, but it is a stunning fishery. Look at the outback on that. We're in Shropshire and we're at a fantastic fishery called Monk Hall Fishery. It's a beautiful fishery. It's stuffed with F1s, carp and eye. There's not many little fish in here. Now, Zolt is way out of his comfort zone. He doesn't fish for F1s on the pole. He doesn't do that much pole fishing really anyway. I think he just likes his rivers and that. But this is his, you know, where he's just moved to in the country, this is going to be his fishing. Snake lakes, F1s, carp, eyed, fish like that. So we've brought him to Monk Hall today. Now, today's going to be the practice day for him. And then tomorrow is going to be a match. So all the local guys that come here week after week are going to rock up and he's going to be fishing against them. So we're going to get back to him now. We're on Swallow Lake today. It's a little bit windy. We've had loads and loads of rain the last few days. It was raining this morning. Luckily, it's all gone over. It's nice and bright. The water temperature is freezing. I spoke to Ben. He said it was 7 degrees. I put my hand in the water when I first got here and it's absolutely bitterly cold. So it's going to be tough. It's going to be a proper winter's day's fishing. Now, I don't want to confuse him too much, but fishing snake lakes like this, there's quite a bit to it sometimes. You know, where to fish, you know, what baits to fish, and that's what we got to try and work out today for tomorrow's match. So let's get back down to Swallow Lake, what we're fishing today. Let's get down to Zolt, get the gear out, and obviously you'll have loads of tips and I'll be giving him a slap on the head if he's not doing something right again, and we'll have a great laugh and a great day's fishing. How come you're actually doing an English breakfast?
Actually...
Where were you trained to do an English breakfast?
Yeah, I spent too much time with you.
Well, no, I've never made you a breakfast.
No, that's true.
Where did you learn? You obviously know how to do good food.
Yeah.
Instead of, what's it called? Goulash?
Yeah.
Is this a goulash breakfast?
No, it's not a goulash breakfast.
It looks like
actually,
one.
I was thinking...
Actually, goulash is very nice. Actually.
I was thinking that I'm going to cook for you,
should
but...
do a goulash evening meal.
Should I?
Yeah. Go to the shops and get some...
Actually, I was thinking that I treat you with a nice steak in the evening.
Oh, so don't go down that road. Try to lose weight. But if you want to do that, then that'll be fine. Well, thank you very much, Sol. It's very nice to turn up and get treated like how I should be treated.
I try my best. Get back.
That's right, I like that. What? Where are you going to put it? What's with the slippers, mate? You losing it or what?
Oh, what's wrong with my slippers?
Well, what's right with them? Right, is that it? Have I done?
Yes, yes.
Are you sure there's nothing else to go with it, like beans?
No, no beans, sorry.
Cutlery? Nice and forks?
Is down there. Somewhere.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to smash that in and then we'll go out and do some training. F1's in here, mine's out.
Oh my god.
See you in a bit.
That-
One, I forgot my waterproof. No, I
See
forgot
that?
my waterproof hat.
Me
That goes back in the van. I
Are
don't
you
care.
sure?
There's no shores about it, Zolt. Put it back in the van. Lock the van.
in case.
No, only just in case you might want a pair of waterproof waders on because you might be going for a swim. Put it back in the van. It's not coming out today. Forget it. This is F1 fishing.
I can fish for F1s on the feeder.
No, you can't. I've seen that at Manor, and that didn't work properly. So put it back.
Well, I won't
No, you've done all right. No, you've done well. I'm not going to deny that, but it's not for this venue.
Can I bring that?
No,
one?
it's not cold enough for that. Put it back. I'm going to make you suffer. You made me suffer in this weather. Look at it. It's raining. I'm cold, wet.
It's getting better.
Do you realise where we are in the country? Do you realise why the roads are so wet? And you know, it rains a lot here, Zolt.
Are we fishing?
Yes, we've got your pole. That's one good thing. So it is whitening up a bit, to be fair. I think it'll be right in a minute.
Des, how is that thingy working?
How was what?
How usually that?
What, my strap? No, Zolt.
No. Ooh.
Well, there's two straps. So what you do?
Is it two?
No, yes, you go one way, one the other, so it's a crossover.
But it's only
Yeah?
one here.
No, there's another one.
No.
Yes,
only
they're
one.
both on the hoop at the front. What?
Ah, here is the
Yeah,
other one.
well
Yeah.
done.
Okay.
So one goes one way. You don't need to do both at the same time. You can do one
Can you
and
give
then
me a
the
hand?
other. Oh,
Come on.
yeah. So you can put this. It's so technical. It is so difficult to do it. Look, see that? It's called a
It is-
carabiner clip.
Here is the other one. I don't have this. I don't have any
Look
experience.
at that. That's
It's-
called a hot cross
It's,
bun.
it's,
Zolt.
it's the same like F1 fishing.
Right. Look at that. Do you like that?
Actually, it's
So
fine.
if anybody wants to know how to load a trolley, that's what I do.
Guys, do we need
Have
some
you got
bucket?
any? Oh, hang on. Short kits.
I have two.
You've only got two.
Yes.
So you've not sort of thought, well, I'll give you a bell. I'll give Des a bell, see if I got
I'm
one.
sure you have got short.
Oh,
kids.
I've got them, but
I
I'm
know
not gonna
that.
lend them
That's
out.
why I
you
didn't
didn't know
ring
that. You didn't know that. I just come back from Whiteacre, so you wouldn't know.
Yeah, but why take us to fishing F1s?
No. Yes, but not with short kits. They're too big.
Yeah, but you have short kits anyway.
So what's that?
Maggots?
Why aren't they gone to the riddle after 4 hours of travel?
They are getting better actually.
Oh, okay.
They're moving.
Well, how come you've got a lot of whites?
You asked me to buy a white maggot,
I did actually.
so
That might be a mistake. So what else have you got? So have you done some expanders, pro expanders?
no, you didn't tell me.
So you know very well we're going to be using the expanders.
You said maggots and
Well,
half
get your pro
pellets.
expanders ready because you're going to need some of those.
I don't
your door, look, the van's, that's a company van. Everything's look at the state of the. Look at the state
No, you don't.
of the footwell.
You don't.
No,
You don't.
No,
You
I'm
don't.
telling you now.
No, you don't.
No, open that door. Look
no,
at the
we
footwell.
don't. No, we don't.
That is an absolute disgrace.
No, we don't.
Zolt.
Let's have a look
Oh,
at the
yeah,
bank.
let's go
have
up
a-
to the lake.
Let's go to the lake.
Yeah, we'll open that footwell up in a minute. That's brand new, that van. Come on.
Okay.
'Cause we need to get going because we've got a lot to learn. And there's a lot of good anglers here tomorrow. You need to cover those maggots up because it's raining. Do you realise what happens to maggots? They go to sticky mag.
No, I didn't bring any sticky mag.
No, put a towel over the maggots.
I'm not sure that I have a towel.
Or put an empty. Oh, you got a towel on the top
Yeah.
there. Right, cover them maggots right up because if they get wet, you've had it.
There we go.
Well done.
It's gonna be a
It
long
is-
day.
I thought coaching the uncoachable. That name was a bit out of order, but the more I go along with it, I think it's actually a great name for this. Uncoachable is becoming the key word.
I'm not that
No,
bad.
you're not. You're very good. So you made an awesome breakfast this morning, didn't you?
Yeah, only for you.
Whether this is gonna pass it, I hope it passes over. I think we've got a bit of blue cloud coming, or blue cloud. It is blue cloud actually.
looks much better on that side.
Yeah, it's horrible, isn't it? But if you do, it's a lovely venue, Monkhall, isn't it? It's solid with F1s. There's a lot of hide in here, but talking to Ben, the owner, he said on Swallow Lake, they're not in every peg. They're pulled up. But I think it'd be really interesting for you guys. I think it's a great concept what this is. I do.
Are we gonna fish shallow?
Because most people will be looking at you, Zolt, and thinking, I've got to go careful how I choose my words here. They'll be thinking, that's me.
Yeah.
But don't take that personally. Just use it as a...
thing, because
You
you're
know.
going to sleep in one room with me.
You know, I don't mind that. I've done that before in Belgium, haven't we? So I don't mind
Yeah,
that. But I think it's a
First
great
night
concept.
ever.
Listen, all I will say as well is thank you very much for the comments we've had on the first of the Coaching Uncoachable, because I think it made us both feel that it was actually, and for the company as well, it made it feel that it was what you guys want, really, is reality. Because it is reality. What a lot of you guys do week in, week out, go to different venues all over all over England and in the UK. And a lot of fishing nowadays is F1 fishing, whether we like it or not. And they're quite difficult to catch sometimes.
Definitely they are difficult.
You know, and there is an art to it. And Zolt's going to have to, I want him to do really well. I'm very, very competitive. It doesn't matter whether I'm helping someone or fishing myself. But I think it'd be really good for you guys. Hopefully, I'm going to get over this getting here. It's not very nice. It's not very nice. We've had tons of rain the last couple of weeks. It's still warm. It's still like 11, 12 degrees. I think Ben said the water temperature was 7
Yes, it's 7
degrees. So the water's obviously plummeted. It gets really cold at Monkhall very, very quickly.
and windy.
Yes, and tomorrow's forecast is quite windy, but I think this lake ain't too bad because it's down from the hill. But yeah, I think it's a really good concept. I'm enjoying it.
I still think
and-
about it.
Yeah, you're panicking. Zolt's been panicking about it because he doesn't like fishing for F1s because he's never done it before. But anyway, we're going to get over there. Hope this rain's going to ease off, and we'll run through everything. Obviously, like we've done in the last little film we've done.
Can I borrow some short bits from you?
Possibly. I'll let you.
I will make you breakfast tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll go and get them at the van then.
Okay.
Yeah, have you got any sandwiches with you?
I have cookies.
What sort?
Uh,
Hungarians?
No. Mark and Spencer.
Oh, I better let him borrow my short kits, then, haven't I, for that? Right, let's get over there anyway, because we need to get cracking on with it. Speak to you in a bit. Right, and we are on Swallow Lake. Zolt's just starting to get his gear out. Now he's got his box set up there.
Yes, what you doing with my
Sorry.
phone?
What am I doing? Well, I was just looking at. See, I thought Kinder Surprise was like something good, but not Tinder Surprise. So I don't know what all these women's messages are coming through. I've got his phone at the moment because he reckons a GoPro's too technical for me.
It's definitely too technical
All right.
for you.
Yeah, all right. Well, just go careful what you're saying because obviously this is a training day. I'm very impressed with Zolt actually. Look at his stack system. I'm really wondering what's in there because he's got 1, 2, 4 units full of stuff there.
Yeah, because I'm quite tall, so I need to.
Yeah, I get that, but why are you carrying that big stack system? What's it? Oh, anyway, we'll have a look at that in a minute. Anyway, elastic choices, Zolt. Come on, run us through. Bear in mind, F1s, Swallow Lake as well, of all the lakes here at Monkhall, they're full of carp, F1s and eye. There's not many, I don't think there's hardly any silverfish at all. So everything you hook's probably going to be 12 ounces and bigger.
It's getting colder, so I would go somewhere between 9 and 13.
Yeah, I think 11, personally, if I was coming here, obviously you don't know what weights you're going to need. I think 11's going to be the business, to be honest. That's what I would be using. You know, we can change tomorrow if we, you know, see what happens today, see how big the carp are.
If I start to bagging?
If you start bagging, they'll be very impressed, and then we can...
I would be very surprised.
No, we will have a mega days fishing on here, whatever. But it's going to be windier tomorrow. Even with that little bit of breeze now, it's starting to get up in it. But it's not, we're on the narrow side of Swallow. I'm going to be sitting next to Zolt just here today and tomorrow. And then obviously coaching him through and giving you as much information as possible. Anyway, elastic Zolt, what have you got?
I have 2 short kits.
Yep, sound.
Will it be enough too?
Yeah, well, I got a couple as well, but obviously I think short kits, a lot of people just use short kits on these venues.
Okay.
But depends on what depth we got down the middle. You can always put, I'm not sure how many short threes you got.
0.
Well, that's the end of that end. So we'll not be using a short kit and a short free, are we? So anyway, I think we'll be fishing with, down the middle, I think we'll be fishing with normal kits. Oh, that was a tiny little roach that just topped then. So there might be a few little tinies in. But they're certainly not going to make, they're not going to be any good to us. Yeah, I think cupping kit could be important. You know, obviously with the temperatures all going down the water, we've had tons and tons of rain, haven't we? A lot of rain. There's a pipe down here to our right, it's like just water coming in all the time. Look, there's another little fish just topped. A little skimmer, I think that was. But you never know on these venues.
Are we fishing for silverfish?
No, we're not.
Okay.
No, we're not
Just
fishing for silverfish. That could be the next encounter of coaching the uncoachable.
Oh,
but
look at, I have got 1 grey kit as well. Huh?
That's very impressive, Zolt.
And it's 11.
Perfect.
I'm prepped.
Have you actually checked all your connectors?
Yes, I would say yes.
You would. That doesn't sound very positive.
It's yeah.
Anyway, let's not
okay.
get into that.
It's okay.
Right. So I think we're gonna need like 4 or 5 top kits. So the longer ones we can be fishing down the middle, short, etc. And I think the short kits will be fishing like down in the margins and over. It's only narrow. It's only like 11.5, 30 meters here, isn't it? So get all those out. Is your box nice and level?
Yes.
It doesn't look that level to me. I'll check it. There's some fish. I'll tell you what, there's a lot of fish on that far side.
Obviously, because I'm on this
I
side.
think tomorrow that wind's. The wind is nippy, isn't it? But it's still like 11 degrees, and I think Ben said this morning it was 7.
7.5.
So I reckon tomorrow, this is my opinion, I think if we draw down that end, which the wind...
We won't.
You never know, Zolt. Come on, get going.
I know.
We ain't got all day. So we need to do some expanders with maggots. We got some corn, and then we're away. But your elastics are sound.
That's way too many top kits for me.
No, it's not. No, Zolt. No, this is what you got to remember on these sort of venues, fishing for F1s. You can have the easiest day possible on these venues, and sometimes you've got to work. You will have a nice easy day. Let me tell you now, you will be catching some fish, because if you don't, I will be wheel spinning out. Ben's just had some new tarmac put down here, and I could be ripping it all up on the way out of here if you don't do any good. So no, it'd be good, mate. It'd be good for you, and it'd be good for the people that'll be watching. So like I said, it is quite technical fishing sometimes, especially in the winter. I enjoy F1 fishing because if you can catch during the day and you get that run late or down the edge, it can be amazing.
Have you seen my roller?
I haven't seen your roll result. I dare not think. You know. Anyway, we got Jamie here filming today. You got the whole Preston. Look at it. Look at the amount of kit he's got. And I could use that stuff. So easy to use all that camera stuff.
You
honestly.
couldn't use even the GoPro.
Zolt, don't, honestly.
Look at that beauty.
That's very nice, that is, Zolt. That's actually better than the one I got, because I've got a sample one. You get the finished sample. So we're going to get practicing and try and give you as much information as we can about this sort of style of fishing. It's interesting as well, because I don't come here fishing. So I have been fishing the other lakes in winter leagues before, but I've never fished Swallow Lake. So yeah, it'd be interesting to run Zolt through and you guys what I think, and because that's what this is all about. I think it's a really good concept, like I said, of you know, someone who doesn't fish for F1s, see what goes through, you know, what goes through my head and what goes through. Well, we need to find out what goes through Zolt's head, because that could be actually a film on its own. So anyway, come on, get going now, because we're running out of time. All right, speak to you in a minute, guys. Right, Zolt, rollers. I've got the Tinder surprise phone. Now, obviously you're right-handed, didn't you?
Yes.
Now that roller is hitting that robin out of that tree up there. I think it's a little bit too high. You're going over the otter fence.
Yeah, I thought
Right,
the
you need to
defense
bring
is
that-
higher.
Yeah, you need to bring that down a little bit, because obviously with the wind as well, you have to go a bit careful. Now, what angle is it on? Let me just sit on your box, because this is important for everybody. On roller position. Now, Zolt's, that's quite directly behind him. Zolt, you need to go that way towards Jamie, because you need that angle, not directly behind you.
I know,
And,
just the camera
no,
was
that's not
on
an
my
excuse.
way.
You can just tell Jamie to get out of the way. He, you know.
No, I know why
Listen,
you're complaining all the time about
today
me.
he is just a cameraman. Okay? Oh, mate, perfect. Right, now you need to go towards Jamie, because you need that angle.
Something
You
like
know
that.
when we go out filming
Yeah.
and we do these things for the public, do you not take that in?
I'm not always listening to you.
No, but that's the whole point of it.
Yeah,
mate.
but now I have
See,
to
people
listen to
think
you.
we're messing around when we do these things, but it's the truth. It don't go in. You need to. I don't know. So anyway, come on.
Yeah,
So now you
Probably
need.
I
Now
paid
look at your
attention.
roller now, right?
yeah.
Right now, if you do that with your pole, watch the angle the pole moves. No, let go of the pole. Look, see that going across? See it crabbing across?
Yeah,
Why is that?
because it's not level.
No, because it's not facing me. So you need to turn it towards me.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's why it crabs. Now watch. So that now comes back dead straight.
Okay.
So do you want to do that for the general public again?
Yeah.
Put it round to an angle again, or straight,
Here we go.
and watch what the pole does. There you go. So everybody now knows if you don't.
I didn't know that.
No, I know. So that's what you don't want that. So you need to have the angle directly to you.
It was
So-
worth it to came out with you
yes,
today.
I know, Zolt. Come on, we haven't got time.
Okay. Let's...
Right, that's it. Now watch. A little bit crabby, but not too bad. So anyway, that now is, you can see that angle now. You can probably catch that, ladies and gentlemen. But that's on a nice angle, right? You can shit back. That goes absolutely dead straight into his sock, like that. So off to an angle. Not that his pole roller was like where he is now, which was directly behind him.
And it was like
Makes
that.
a huge difference. So yeah, that's your roller. Job done, just over the otter fence. Obviously a lot of fisheries now got otter fences for obvious reasons. We need to get another roller set up now, because that's obviously going to be his long line roller, and probably Jamie will have to just move a little bit. We need to get another roller just off to a side, so when Zolt, and on these sort of venues,
Somewhere here, isn't it?
on these sort of venues, you do need two rollers. Well, a lot of venues go to two rollers, especially when you fish a long pole. But you need that roller there for your top kit and two, because your top kit and two on summer or winter on these venues can be absolutely deadly.
That's
I mean,
how high I need to set up the second
same
roller.
sort of angle as that, Russell. That angle now is perfect. Absolutely bang on. 'Cause
Okay.
when you ship in and out, your top kit will be just off the water, which is what you want. You don't want it too high. So I would have that sort of just below your pole. Why did you turn that around then? Because they're exactly the same either
I know,
side.
but
What?
it was just easy.
Oh, okay. Anyway, that's the roller setup done, ladies and gentlemen. Let's move on to the bait. Right, now, bait, Zolt.
I've been prepared.
Yeah,
Apart from the expander.
to be fair, yeah, you haven't done your expanders. Big mistake for Zolt. But we'll do them now as long as all the other baits. Now, one bait he has brought, and fair play to him, because I didn't actually think about it. All right, Zolt, was those. Now, the rules here or you can use any pellets that you want, which is great, because I like going to venues where you can use whatever pellets you want, because you're confident with whatever you use, and I think that's great. One thing he has brought, which is now coming into this time of year, is the Pro 1mm pellets. Now, they're classed as a pellet, they're very, very small, obviously.
To be fair, I brought it for a feeder fish.
Yeah, well, I know, all right, well, I don't mind, but I think for down the edges, especially, and across, this could be bloody brilliant.
Okay.
So what we'll do, get them out, put them in an EVA bowl. But one thing we need to do ASAP, because we haven't put any rigs on yet.
Expanders?
I'm going to do Zolt's expanders. So I'm going to get some water in there. Obviously, he hasn't taken any notice of... Where are the expanders?
Here in my hand.
All right, tip some in there. No, hang on, let me tip a bit of that water away, because I want to get some bait booster in there. Don't need loads of water. So we need to do that, because obviously we're just getting sorted. I got some...
How many expanders?
Whoa. Well, no, actually, do some more, because we can keep some for later. Right, so I've got some bait booster there. Now, it's one thing I like doing. Smack a bit of bait booster in there. Now, obviously, you can do this the night before, which I was probably what I would have done. Smack that around. And what them pellets will do, obviously, they will soak the water and the bait booster in. So what we'll do, we'll let that soak in.
Is the bait booster colouring the pellets?
No, not really. The Scopex one turns them. If you do them overnight with just a little bit of water, it actually turns them like a bit of a tingy yellow, which is really, really nice, to be honest. But that bait booster, no, that will go in. It might taint them a little bit, but the most important thing is get some smell into them. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
But anyway, that's them. You don't have to worry about them now. Just forget about them. By the time we get our rigs and stuff on, they should be done. 1mm.
How many 1mm I need?
I think we need to do. How many bags you got with you? Have you got enough for tomorrow?
No.
Right. Well, we need just do
half.
Just under half. There's a lot of pellets. Millions, isn't there, of little... Whoa, that'll do. And then we'll get some water, soak them. Same with some 4mm. I've got some 4mm Fin Perfects. They're great for winter fishing, because they are that sort of pellet that will break down. This is when they come into their own. So we'll get...
Just about cover the water, isn't it?
No, cover them.
Cover
them, right, swish them around. Go on, get your hand in there, Zolt. Don't be scared of them. Go on, bit more water.
The water is cold.
Don't worry about that. It's winter fishing. Don't mess. I mean, what are you? You like this with all the women that you take out, or what? Right, do that.
Don't go on that way then.
No, we're not going to talk about that. All right, and then we'll drain them off. Drain them off now, because go on. Don't be scared of them. We get a little bit of water in there. A few 4mm fins. Again, a little bit of water. I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll get a bit of that bait booster water out of there.
Are we talking the 4mm as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's that time of year, mate. That's what you've got to start thinking. That's what,
That's going to be painful.
Yeah, well, no. That's why we're doing this. So I've just got some Fin Perfect 4s in there. Give them a bit of a swish around. Bring that water back into the expander tub. And that just gives those, it would just start breaking them down a bit. Really important this time of year that you think about that.
Okay.
All right, but the fin ones, the 4mm, are brilliant for that. All right. So leave them to one side. Really speaking, we got a tin of corn. I think those 1mm, fair play. I don't think about the 1mm that much, but I think coming here now, the rules, because I think you used to have to buy fishery
I love
pellets.
them for my skimmer fishing.
Yeah, they do. Well, shh, be quiet, Zolt.
Okay.
Don't tell anybody.
Okay.
All right, so you've got everything. You've got your maggots, you've got your 1mm, your 4mm. I'm not gonna get any 6mm out. I think a lot of this fishing, because of the...
Do we need any 2mm?
Yeah, 2mm we're gonna need, definitely. So they can go into... Get some in there. You can dip them in the water. So that's the bait done, really. So we've got 1mm, 2mm, 4mm. Them 1mm, I think, we're going to be using them down the edge in the sort of shallow water as a bit of
Is enough?
Loads of particles. Yeah, that's plenty. That's it, dip them in there. So that's the bait really, nice and simple. We got 3 pints of maggots for today, which is probably plenty. The sun's going to be a bit of a pain because you have a job to see your float at the minute. So let's get all this out of the way, ready for tomorrow.
Get that mess on the side. Please.
No, just keep yourself nice and, or try and keep yourself nice and organised if you can. We don't leave them in there long. If anything, Zolt, what you could do this time of year is we'll drain that out, and I do this quite a lot this time of year, is put the same amount of water as 2 mils
And just leave it.
and leave it. That's on the 2 mils, mind. And then leave them, right?
Oh, okay.
It's nice and simple. So we'll get some nice little containers and that done. Get all this packaging and that out of the way, and we'll get on and doing some rigs. So yeah, so a bit of bait prep. Wait for our expanders to get going. Tin of corn out in a minute. Not sure whether corn's going to play a part. I think for Zolt today, for you, really Zolt, talking to you, is there's a lot of carp in here, and the carp are chunky things. They're really,
Just like you.
they're like me. They're fat and chunky, but they weigh. Do you know what I mean? So they're gonna,
proper weight builders.
they're proper weight builders. They might look 3 pound, and they probably weigh 5.
Oh yeah, I remember
And,
last time we filmed here with Matty and Sam. And
Yeah,
we
the
were
carp
surprised
weigh a lot.
how heavy the
So you need
carp
to get your
are.
clicker counter out as well, because I think the weight limit here is 50 or 60 pound.
You know that I'm very bad for clicking.
Yeah, well I might be in charge of that. Let's think about, we are using the clicker. That's the positive side of it, that we need
Yeah,
the
fair
clicker.
point. Okay.
So anyway, that's the bait prep. Let's go on and get some rigs on.
Are you recording?
Yes, I am recording, Zolt.
Are you sure?
Yes. Right, now, I was very intrigued to see what was in Zolt's stack system.
Hold on.
What do you mean, hold on? You've just taken the lid off. Now, bear in mind, we are at Monk Hall Fishery at Snake Lake, and, you know,
What's
bear in mind,
happening
Zolt's
here?
had plenty of time to organise yourself.
That's not the...
And we've got a nice selection of Kerries up to 4 gram.
yes.
Right. Can you explain yourself?
That's the wrong...
The wrong
thing.
unit. Okay, so what have we got? Bear in mind, I reckon this is probably like 5 foot deep, this lake. I think F1 maggot, Zolt, is going to be probably the only float we're going to need.
I have some.
You've got a nice selection of F1 maggots, and you've also got F1 pellets. You've got some carp excesses. Now, I think the carp excess, unless you prefer a heavy or a thicker float or thicker bristle.
Actually, I can see them very well.
Yes,
so I love
but
them.
I honestly think we need to use
F1
those
maggots.
F1 maggots, mate. They're great all-round floats, pellets, maggots, you name it.
That's...
That float does it.
I always wanted to ask you, what's the difference between the F1 pellet and the F1 maggot?
One F1 pellet is wire, nickel titanium stem, and an F1 maggot is carbon.
Okay, that's all.
That's
Nothing
it.
else?
And the bristle's the same. It's just
Okay.
wire and carbon, but I love carbon. It's
Okay.
just no hassle. They don't break, and yeah, job done, mate. I mean, you don't need breakages on
4x14?
4x14, and I think down the edge we might have to go down to a 4B10. We can fish a carp shallow down the edge, but I think if we stick with F1 maggots, I think we won't go far wrong, mate. 015 main line.
I do have some F1 shallow 4x10.
Yeah, well, I got some F1
Or
maggots.
I have
There's an F1 maggot over there, look. Get here, mate.
Oh, yeah.
What line's that on?
015
Oh,
reef.
well, there you go. Perfect. That's what we want. So we'll be fishing with 011, 013 bottoms. Don't think we're going to want anything heavier than that unless it's absolutely rigid.
Do I need a shallow rig?
Not yet. What we'll do, we'll get going, right? See what's happening and make our mind up. And then we might have to put an F1 shallow float up or
Carp
something
shallow
like
for
that.
margin?
I think we can use an F1 maggot 4B10 or 4B12 down the edge. We'll plumb up first and make our minds up after.
I'm afraid I don't
No,
have
I
that
know. That's
size.
why
Okay.
I've got my trays here, Zolt. Look.
That looks much more organized than mine.
Yeah, well, this is how you've got to be. But yeah, there you go. Let's get going anyway, mate, because we're running out of time. Why have you not brought any 16 SFLs?
I thought that I have.
It's the hook of choice, Zolt, on these venues.
It's 18?
Honest to God, mate. I'll tell you what, I'll just spend, more time and just tie your hooks as well.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah,
Actually.
yeah, I bet it is, but it's not happening. Oh, hang on, where's mine?
Well, you didn't prepare neither.
No, I did. I've done a load of work for Whiteacres, actually. I can't believe you've not even got any... You want a 16 on today, really? Because we'll be fishing with double maggots and expanders. There are,
Here we
11.
go. There is some 16s.
Yeah, I know. Plenty of them. That's why I've got three pins of 16s.
3 pins.
Yes.
Wow.
And I've got some, look, and I've got some 3-inch for fishing over in shallow water.
By the way, the last time you told
Yeah, but this is what you need. This is a good point, actually. You do need a selection of hooks. 16 SFLs, 18 SFLs are great for this time of year for these sort of venues.
I have 18.
Yeah, but 18 is like single maggot. It's a small hook. I don't think we're going to be doing that today. That's desperation things, really. But I've got some in 3-inch as well. I've tied some 3-inch ones. I've got some pre-tied 16s. 3-inch really, maybe in shallow water or sort of when it's a bit warmer. Probably 6 inches would be the... Depends how good the fishing is, really. We'll find out after day. We'll have a chat tonight about it, I think. And then I think that'd be good for you guys as well.
Before or after the steak?
I think we need to talk before we go to the pub, because if we talk after the pub, could be a few issues with that. I do fancy a few pints actually, Zolt.
Okay.
Especially now you've got the Preston company card as well.
Oh yeah, we can go.
Oh mate, don't worry about that. This
Yeah.
steakhouse, is it expensive? Is it? Oh, good. That's right.
By the way, last time you told me of that my droppers was number 9.
I didn't tell you off. I just said like for this sort of
you made the face.
yeah,
like,
but for this sort of fishing,
remembered,
it's
and-
nice. You've gone to number 10s.
I went to number 10.
Yeah, look at that. That's spot on. Nice simple rigs, and yeah, job done. That's that. You don't need loads of gear. You just need the right gear. And if you look in my box, when I go to these sort of venues, it's F1 maggots, carp shallows. Obviously meat fishing in the summer, I use them carp XSs in that because they're just absolutely awesome for heavier lines. But when we go this time of year, Zolt, if you stick with like 015 main line, maybe 013, you know, if it's really cold, because it's float prep, you know, if a lot of people say to me, why do you use less, you know, why don't you just fish 017 main line all year round? You can do, but the float, I think the float sort of, it helps the float sit perfectly, and when the, you know, crafty F1s and silverfish, I think it just helps it just helps presentation.
Okay.
So that's why I think you just bring the, you know, bring it down, and you just get a little bit of better float presentation at the end of the day.
Should we plumb up?
Yep. Get a 20 gram plummet. You don't really want a 30 on. So we've talked about plumbing up on the previous one we done, and I'm going to do nothing different today. Zolt's going to plumb around in front of him. I'm not sure whether this is sort of hollowed out on this venue. A lot of venues you go will be hollowed out in front of you, and as you go to the left and right, they will come up, and you've got to make a decision where you're going to fish. So we'll just let him plumb up a minute.
That's deep.
Huh?
That's deep.
Yeah, it's deeper than what you think. You might even want a 4B16 on. Tomorrow, with the wind getting up, we might have to fish a 4B16 in the deeper water, but we'll see.
I barely can see my float.
No, I know that. Look at that. Oh,
look at that.
Oh, that was a very, very nice start. This could be a lot easier than what I thought today. Right, so we just go to the left and right, nice and, you know, don't mess about.
No,
It's like a snooker table, that is. It starts to come up,
hold on.
see?
It started to come
Yeah.
up on the left.
Yeah, only about 3 or 4 inches, but you are. Now, if you go straight over to the right now, I bet it does the same.
You reckon?
Yeah,
I can't see anything because of the sun.
you are.
Oh yeah.
So it's hollowed out, like a lot of venues are. They're actually hollowed out.
Oh, where usually people fish.
Yeah, where people fish, it hollows out over
Okay.
over years and years of fishing. People chucking bait
Are
in.
we fishing front?
Well, let's just have a plumb around. Take a section, just come back a section. Don't take a section off. Just drop it in shorter. So we can
Slightly-
basically fish the
slightly
same rig,
shallower,
can't we?
yeah.
Because you might even catch there, if the fishing's good, catch on a top kitten 1
Oh, okay.
instead of a top kitten 2. Now go out to another joint.
One more.
I want you to fish in front of you really, because when we're loose feeding by hand and stuff, I think it's just a lot easier to chuck the bait in front of you. Just have a look, see if it comes up after a top kitten 2.
Yes.
Yeah. So you can just imagine there, you've got a nice little hollow.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, because a lot of people fish top kitten 2.
Yeah, it's coming
If
up.
it was really, really cold, I might even want to go out to a top kitten 3. But I think it's warm enough, the fishing's still going to be good enough. Do you know what I mean?
Okay,
So we want
yeah.
to try and make it as easy as possible for ourselves. So if we come back, top kitten 2. So smack him back on a minute. And this is what we do. We're just going to plumb around. It's a nice depth, that, isn't it? You know, that's absolutely sock on, that is. So just go around to the left a bit and just see where it starts to come up. Because you've got a bit of leeway, haven't you?
This is the deepest part.
Yeah, it's only about half an inch difference, so if that. All right.
And here.
Right, that starts coming up there.
Yes.
So, and then go around to your right and see where it starts coming up there. Because I wouldn't mind having 2 lines. Oh, yeah, that comes up. So really, you've got 2 choices here, Zolt. You either fish on top of that. I wouldn't
Actually,
mind.
on the right hand
I
side,
wouldn't
it's coming
mind.
up much quicker.
Yeah, it is. Because you just go around to the right a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at that. Go around again, about 8-10 inches. No, to the right.
Yes.
And again. Yeah, it's flat there, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
It's flat there. With it being winter time, it would be nice to have 2 short lines, because if the
Like
fishing's hard,
11 o'clock, 1 o'clock.
yeah, you can loose feed one and tap a bit on the other if we need to,
Okay.
rather than fishing in that gully in front of us. I mean, that's my sort of. And then if we need to go out of our peg because the fishing's rock hard, right, we can do.
Okay.
Otherwise, you end up setting loads of rigs up. That's the problem. That is a problem with these sort of venues. Sometimes you've got to set loads of rigs up, but I don't really want to be doing that because it does get quite confusing. So go around to the left and see where it comes up. Because not being funny, Zolt, with that wind blowing right to left, it'd be nice to, you can chuck down there. Yeah?
Here.
So if you plumb that up, I reckon a nice little, in my head at the moment, if I was here in a match, I'd be thinking, right, because it could be cold, it might not fish, you might be in a tough area. It depends where you draw as well sometimes. Let's plumb up there and find the 2 areas where you can throw bait there because it's slightly downstream.
Yes.
Or it's downwind, right, which
And
makes it
I
a lot
can cup-
easier.
I can
And you can
cup
cup up there if we need to.
Okay.
So come back, just plumb that up.
Somewhere here.
Yep. But you see, in my mind,
Yes. You just give it another option.
you've got
if
an
it's-
option, and
yeah.
then probably what we can do is put another joint on, go down the peg, and if it's the same depth again, that means we got an option of fishing down the peg. That's perfect, right? Now
Yeah,
come over to the right.
Right, it's gonna be funny because of the sun.
Yeah, you might go around to the left slightly. Yeah, but that's going to move, isn't it, the sun? It does move the sun if you
Yeah.
ever go, do you do a bit of...
At the moment, I can't see my float.
No, I
Can
know.
you see my float?
Yeah. So that's virtually the same depth there, isn't it?
Very similar. Yes.
Very, very similar. So you bang opposite that platform opposite.
Yes.
Yeah. Now come round to your left to get yourself marked up to where you plumbed up there.
It's.
Yeah, don't drop it in like a grenade.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. That platform.
So that gives
and
us
that
an
one.
option. Put another joint on. Leave the pole together a minute. Oh no, you have to move it because you'll knock Jamie's head off. Right, let's go down your peg a bit now and see if we can find the same depth somewhere else. Very similar.
Very similar.
No,
A
it does come up a
slide.
bit. Right, come down so you're coming closer to the bank. Oh, that is quite a lot.
It's a lot.
So
of
we
difference.
can't do much here because it comes up.
But,
What we'd have to do is stop fishing, plumb up, which is an option, but
Yes.
only when it's rock hard.
But at least at the moment we have got.
Yeah,
the,
but look at that.
know-
You can put a joint on and fish there.
Okay, so
Yeah?
actually I can fish behind the swim.
Yeah, come round to your right slightly. You are. This
Okay.
is where F1 fishing on these sort of venues can get quite technical. You know, don't get too wound up with it. It is the options, especially when it's winter time. So Zolt's got a top kit in two lines like that. He's put the next joint on to make it a top kit in 3.
And actually, I have got a lovely
And he's
mark
got
there
another
front.
line there, so he can fish the same rig in 3 different areas. Now that might come into play, hopefully not, because it fishes that well. We don't have to do it. Right, come on to your right, Zolt. I think this is really important about plumbing up on these sort of venues. Now that comes up. It's a bit all over the shop, isn't it, really?
Yes. Yeah, it is.
Oh, it goes down a bit there, look. But that's like an inch difference.
Yes.
So if we needed to, we could just bang a plummet back on. If we needed to start another line, we could just move the float a little bit. We don't really want to move the float because once it's set, we want to set it.
So we have got the
Top kit in 2.
top kit and two line.
Platform.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
the top
And a
kit
top kit in 3.
3.
You've got that stump.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah?
Exactly. Yes.
Right, now put another joint on. This is what we're trying to do now, is work round the peg without moving the float too much. Or, you know, we just want to try and find error. I would say that we'll probably run out of options with this float now. I think that will probably come up going towards the island. I'll be quite amazed if it doesn't. Only a float length though, isn't it?
Yeah. Hold on, in the middle. Oh,
Yeah,
it
that
is.
comes up a
Yeah,
lot
it
there
comes
because
up.
you're going, because you're in front, right?
Yeah.
It's come up towards, so you know you're on hard bottom because that's coming up the slope.
Yes.
Now, this time of year, I think we're going to have to make a rig up for that.
Fishing on the slope.
Fishing up on the slope because I think different depths are so important on these venues. So let's go through it. We scrap that rig off now, right? We need to, yeah, that pole needs to go over to the left of that roller. Well, that can go up there. All right, so what we do, we'll just get these lines cut down now, or the line on this rig. So snap him off, Zolt. Obviously put the line somewhere safe, what you take off. Now, obviously distances in lines.
I remember the last time when
You can use half of that side tray. Zolt's using a
done it.
double side tray. Did you?
last time we measured on
Yeah.
the previous episode,
Yeah.
that is literally between the two
Yeah,
legs.
bang on. So he's using the middle leg and the back leg
You
of his
see, I
box.
did listen. What did you say?
Well, that's good, but there's some stuff you haven't taken in.
I can't
so-
remember everything.
No, but you have to in fishing, mate. So he's cutting his rig down. We're going to set another rig up now for fishing that sort of top kit in 3, which is going to be sort of, I reckon, 4 foot of water. Now, 4 foot of water this time of year could be a really good depth. And then we're going to fish a rig over. Hopefully we can use the rig over for down the edge. But this is where it gets a little bit riggy, if you like. But that's the name of the game on a snake lake. You know, a lot of guys that come to these venues all the time, they've got their kit all made up on their rigs. And if you know a venue like that, it is so easy to rock up, undo your kit safe, and your rig's already ready to go. Unfortunately, for where I live especially, that ain't the case because we haven't got that many sort of canal stroke F1 venues. But don't get confused with it. It's still great fishing. You just need to actually think about it a little bit. But I think the fishing's going to be good enough hopefully not to be able or not have the option of moving around too much. But you never know. Depths of water, I said earlier in the film, can be the most important thing. And that's the options we need.
That time of the year, is it makes any difference that your top kit is black or silver or white or?
So I've always said to people say to me, Des, do you think the ghost tops make a difference? And I always say to people, if you think they do, absolutely fine. If you think they don't, then they don't. But I've got a bit of both. Oh, it was a great big F1 top there. That was a big F1 that was. I've got a bit of both, and yeah, I must admit, for me in clear water, I do try and stick with the ghost tops, you know, if I can. I haven't got that many.
I have to.
I haven't got many. I've just got my original top kits.
I have one rig for.
Yeah, a little bit of Tipex for the depth, please.
Des, can I have some Tipex, please?
I've done this last time, Zolt. So a bit of Tipex on there.
Oh.
Did you shake the bottle?
No, I didn't.
No.
Should
Don't-
I?
No.
Are you marking
I was just
the-
winding up. Yeah, I always mark it at the top of the tip. Oh, that's a fantastic mark.
Thank you.
Well, John just got to blob it. Zolt.
This looks nice, huh?
So there we go. We marked up. After
Thank you,
put a little medium cab pot on there in a minute with a little lid on it, obviously, because I think, well, I just got a feeling the colour's dropped out. I reckon, even though this has got a dye in it, this lake. I
For
think
the shallow water, are we going with the 4x14? or
Well,
the-
bear in mind when we plumbed up, right? It was only a float, just over a float length difference. So I think 4x14 again. So the same float, just for fishing in a different depth.
Happy days.
So we're going to plumb that up. Plumb up over, I think 4x12s over. And for down the edge. And we'll make our mind up after today whether like a little 4x10 would be better. But I think 4x14s, 4x10s. And obviously if we get here tomorrow and it's really windy, we might be fishing with 4x16s and 4x12s over and down the edge. Just depends on the weather conditions.
Des, I've got another question.
Go on.
Dacron connectors.
Yes.
Some of the people using the Dacron connectors, like literally take out the wire part and
Yeah, they just use the bead.
Use the bead. Is it makes? Do you reckon is it makes different?
I think when you're fishing shallow, I think it probably does make a difference. But for me, so all my top kits, I just use
Yes.
the Dacron connectors. I like Dacron connectors, always have done. But I know a lot of people that fish for F1s just fish like you've got on there. You've obviously been out filming with Andy May, I would say. You've copied that, or Matty Dawes, have you?
No.
Yes, you have. So you're taking no notice of what I'm doing.
I do take notice from everyone.
Right, okay.
Just
and
sometimes
it doesn't.
Sometimes
Zol,
I can remember, sometimes I can't.
there's a lot of things in fishing. Personal preference
Yes.
is that sort of thing.
Des, can I have one more hook length of yours? It's really kind of you. Thank
Yeah, I know. I tied all. Oh no, that's a 3-inch. So you don't want that. I think we'll stick with 6 inches today. All right. You all right with that?
Yeah.
Now this is 011 power line.
Okay.
Are you happy with that?
Oh yeah.
Or do you want some 010s?
No, 11 I think.
Oh, 11?
11.
Okay.
11.
So yeah, so Zolt's going to plumb up now a top kit in free. Just come up. We'll have a little plumb around, but you can see what we've done on that that shortish line, if you like, and we've just made those several options out of one rig, which is what I try and do, depending on the venues. So we're going to carry on plumbing up, and then obviously we'll get back to you, and when we start fishing. Just have a plumb around with that. Right, lift that plummet up and see how deep it is. I would say that's an absolutely spot on depth. That's like just over 2 foot. Yeah?
Yeah.
Right, and then you can plumb around to your left and right. So if we need to move, we can. Yeah,
Yeah,
go
we
on
can.
down the bank a bit. Just swing round. Because it's important. Hopefully we won't be dobbing bread if the fishing. We'll find out today if the fishing's going to be good. Yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
You can go in loads of areas. If the fishing is like that,
Yes.
go on down, poke your pole out a bit more. Oh, it goes off a
Really?
bit there.
Yeah.
Look, poke it down in there a bit.
Well done.
Yeah. So you're running out of depth there.
Yes.
All right. So, but if it need be, we might have to plumb back up. What about going to your right hand side? Again, deep.
Deep.
Because the reeds come out a bit, doesn't it?
Yes.
If you look at the bank,
Here
but
as
you've
well.
still got enough line on there. If we had to, we could stop, whack a plummet on,
Yes.
go back out and replumb up. Or if you wanted to, you could actually replumb up and have 2 Tipex marks on your pole. So go back over there, make sure you're on your line. All right.
Yep.
Right, now get that bit of Tipex and mark it on your knee.
Oh,
Right
man.
on your right hand knee or your left hand knee. Put a nice big. You won't get told off by putting a bit of Tipex around your pole, all the way round. So when you ship out, that Tipex mark, that's why you probably see on my pole sometimes,
Is it plenty?
There's plenty of white marks because I ship out, Bosch on my knee. I know exactly where I've plumbed up. And if I'm sometimes dropping ground bait short, I'll have the Tipex mark that far from the end of my, from when I'm shipping right out. So I've drop my ground bait in on the Tipex mark, and I can go out and fish past my ground bait. But every time I go out, if I've got a little pot on the end of my pole, if I'm fishing for skimmers and things like that, you go out, stop on your Tipex, blob the ground bait out, go back out to the end of your pole and start fishing. And then if you want to fish over your ground bait or whatever, you can come back. You've got your Tipex marks on it. It's just a reference point.
Done.
See? Right, so we're done. A couple of cab pots on, and then we're going to start fishing. Thank God for that. Right, Zolt, and you've just shotted up your float, put another couple of 11 stots on because it was stuck up like...
Yeah, a bit.
Yeah, stuck up. So we're going to start on
expanders
and feed in a few 4s. Now, obviously, the water is very, very cold, but this is probably what I was talking. There's a lot of carp in here as well as big F1s, and if you start on a few 4s, you might get lucky and maybe get a bonus carp. But in my mind, I think there's going to be a lot of maggot fishing, especially in the deeper water, and then hopefully down the edges, feeding a mixture of maybe some 1 mil, 2 mil pellets and fishing, obviously maybe corn, even expanders on the hook or maggots. But that's something we need to sort of work on as we go along. We don't know the venue, so did you actually tap a few 4s in then,
yes.
Zolt? So we're gonna start there and see how we go, and then make a decision what we're gonna do, next. And that will depend on this, obviously. So we started in the deep water. You can tell Zolt's much better, I think, straight away. Was that a fish just topped?
Yes.
No, that was the wind, that. Just make sure expander's still on. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll do some expanders anyway, because you never know from, where you draw on the day. We will do some expanders. Whether they come into play tomorrow, who knows?
Des, can I use back shots?
You can, Zolt. It's up to you. That's a personal preference, mate. You're holding that absolutely fine there. Now, obviously, you're always thinking about, priming other lines up, but I think you just start on these venues. You might have to take a number 11 off now that wind's got up.
Yeah, I didn't need to take
Yeah, take him off, Zolt. It's typical that how many times that happened when we're fishing? It's literally been like pretty nice, and as soon as you start, the wind gets up. And I think this is probably going to be like this tomorrow, so it's good practice result anyway. So what we'll do some fresh expanders tonight, a little bit of bait boost in the water. And we'll probably, to be fair, we'd probably better keep some of the 1 mils and 2 mils that we've done today.
Des, did you know that the plier has got a feature like you can take it off?
I did know that, Zolt.
I haven't realised it.
The thing is, I've got a set of gnashers for that. And that's when my teeth are probably nice and square on the edges from biting shot on. So just tap in.
Should I feed now again?
Yeah, just tap in like 4 or 5, because you put what do you put in there, like 10?
10, yeah, 10, 15.
Yeah. So just go in, and then what we're going to do, we'll carry on with this for a minute and see if we can get a bite. And the next stage really is maggots, tapping in some maggots. Obviously, we need to try and find out where the fish are. It's always a gamble where you start. You could start dobbing bread. You could start over on pellets, but that's something we need to try and work on today, and take it from there. Really, that's better with that number 11 off. But the float started down nice now.
Even I can see it.
Even Zolt can see that. Nice little short line. Like I said, probably like, I don't know how many inches that is. 12, 14 inches a lash,
Yeah,
which is about right, I think. Oh, there we go, Zolt. That was a bite, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was definitely a bite.
So that's good news. don't be scared to actually strike a little bit harder, even if you've got to come back and put a fresh bait on. Oh, hello.
Go on.
Well done, geese.
I'm catching
Well done,
F1, that's
Well, I don't know if it's an F1 yet.
probably.
Well, I want Zolt to get into, like, obviously playing the fish. Because last time there was a lot of feeder fishing, the last one we done. That was foul hooked, I think. I honestly think that was foul hooked.
So I'm not pulling too hard now.
No, that was perfect. There's one thing for certain, when we get a lot of rain sometimes, F1s can be an absolute pain. They want to come off the bottom, and this water's gone clear. It's blue, but there doesn't seem to be a lot of sort of natural colour in the water, if you like.
There's I'm not gonna feed
No,
now.
great, yeah, don't feed, that's sound. And we did do a bit of pellet fishing. If you remember on the last practiced one we done, Zolt done some pellet fishing at the start, and he's learnt straight away, you know, tapped a bit in, foul hooked that one, definitely. I must admit, when he struck, I thought the possibility of that could be foul hooked. So we've plumbed up, not on film, we've plumbed up down the edge. The edge is very similar to the far bank. If you come right into the edge, it was really quite stony, quite uneven, and then you come out probably 2 foot from the bank or 2 foot from the reeds, and it starts to flatten out. It was just literally an inch over 2 foot, so it's 25 inches deep where we're fishing over and down the edge. So the same float, 4x10 F1 maggot. We'll see how we get on with that, and we could change that to a bigger float if need be later, you know, for tomorrow. But I do like little floats. Whether they're going to make a difference, I'm not sure. All right, so what's your feeling now? I would come back and tap in another like 6 pellets, I would. Because them two indications, I'd literally been after you fed, hadn't you?
Yes. That's how long would you spend?
Not too many, mate.
On
Just like 5 or 6.
on pellet. If
Well, I would also,
when
like
you
I
make
said,
a decision that the pellet's not gonna work, so we should go for the maggots.
yeah, like I said to you last time, Zolt, when you're in a match, you'll be also looking round, you know, where people have started. You might not be able to see what baits they're fishing with, but you're also working out how the lake is fishing. You know, you can't look around too much, obviously, because you end up missing bites and that, but always have a little scan around. You know, if you all of a sudden you look around and everybody's like catching fish, you'll be thinking, well, the fish
Or
was...
it happened like last time, I nearly lost my rod.
Well, we're trying not... Well, it ain't going to happen today or tomorrow because you ain't going to have no rods out unless it is blowing an absolute hoolie.
I do have in the van.
Yeah, well, they're staying in the van.
Okay.
Or they can go in my van so they don't come out at all.
No.
Yeah, I mean, you just don't know. You might have to give it more time. If you start looking around and there's quite a lot of fish coming out and you know it's fishing well and you're not getting any bites on pellets, that might give you an indication that you're not fishing the right bait or you're not fishing the right area. But that's gambles you've got to take. You know,
Okay.
I can't tell you that because it's...
I was hoping
on the
that
day.
you can actually.
No, unfortunately, Zolt, you've got to try and, you know, make your own judgment on things sometimes. I mean, it was like then, there was a few fish sat there, wasn't there? You've had like, you fouled up one, had 2, I think, indications.
Yes.
We might have to change the, like, putting a few micros in, do you know what I mean? I mean, personally, I think probably smaller feed baits will be the key today, with the water being that cold. And it's surprisingly cold, isn't it?
Yeah, it's freezing.
The water is absolutely freezing cold. They've obviously had a few cold, you know, I think the rain's cold. Don't look at me, look at the floats.
When you would feed now like a 2 meals,
Yeah.
would you
yeah.
feed loose or would
No,
you
I'd
feed
put
like
a tiny
small
little ball in, I would. That's the only thing. If you use those 2 meals tomorrow, you will have a problem making a ball. So we'll probably launch them today and make a fresh batch up in the morning.
Okay.
Because they don't stick. If you have the normal 2 meals overnight, they just lose their binding. You know, they just don't bind at all.
Okay.
But your float presentation's bang on, mate.
I remember last time I struggled with it.
Yeah, there's a massive improvement straight away. I can see that. Even with you plumbing up this morning, it was so much quicker, and you know what I mean? Even though it is a different venue because it's a snake lake.
Yes, but literally the same principle.
Yeah. Don't mess about. If your float stuck out the water a foot, don't plumb up with it like that.
Yeah.
Come back, get it down near where near where you're going to have your float, and it gives you a better. Oh, that was a great big F1.
Should we set up a shallow rig?
No, don't even think about that.
No? Okay.
Not at the moment. It's like you've got one of them aquarium things down there that bubble up, Zolt. A SpongeBob SquarePants thing where it opens up. Oh, that was a nice bite, Zolt. Definitely a bite, that.
Yeah, it was. I was too slow.
No, you will, you miss bites, no matter what sort of style of fishing you're doing.
There's quite lots of fish moving on the top, isn't it?
They just started. There's been a few odd ones since we've been setting up, but you'll find that with F1s and stuff. They do top a lot, and sometimes they don't feed.
Oh, okay.
And you just got to wait, try and catch what you can. And hopefully, I've been to venues before. They've been topping all day, and you struggle to get a bite where they're just off the bottom. Normally when a weather change, that is when you've had a cold snap or it warms back up or lots of rain. It does affect them sometimes. So what I'm trying to sort of suss out with you, Zolt, is obviously we've started on pellets, a few 4 mils. I think we had one indication on that. Then we introduced a few micros, and we've only been going for a little while, admittedly, and we've had a couple of indications. I've just got Zolt now to put double maggot on over my pellet line, and just fed on the way out to his left hand line, which will probably be his throwing line with maggots as well. I have to excuse the pheasants are all kicking off. But I've just thought I'd let him to try. I think it's going to be. I was surprised this morning how cold the water is actually. It's very, very cold. So what we've done, we've been going for like 10 minutes or so. Didn't feed the maggot line to the left straight away. We just put some 4 mils in. Not a lot really, just one indication. We did actually foul at one. I've got him to put a few micros in with a few 4s. There's no instant response. So what I've got him to do is feed the maggot line slightly to the left in the same depth of water, so top kit in 2, to start priming that up a little bit. And I've just got him to put double maggot on over his pellet line just to see what would happen. At the moment, we've not had a single indication. And I think that tells you that it is probably going to be tough for a little while. And that's the sort of thing that I would do, trying to suss out. I mean, the pellet fishing, I think on these sort of venues, it's not always instant, but it's pretty quick. Normally it tells you that they're going to have it. And because there's no small fish in here as such, maggots are always going to be good, especially when the water goes cold. And we'll make a decision today. I mean, do we do a bit of dobbing bread tomorrow? That will depend on conditions about fishing over and obviously where we draw, because it could be a part of the day where if the fish aren't feeding because of the conditions that we've had recently, we're going cold, obviously a lot of rain, it might just sort of put them off completely. But that's what we're trying to do. Like I said, we're going like 15 minutes now.
Des, what rig would you use for dobbing bread?
For the dobbing bread,
yes,
it'd be like a 4B10 carp shallow with just a couple of tiny little stots down, fishing like 6 inches off the bottom, and obviously like a sort of 6 mil, 8 mil disc of bread.
Okay.
And if the fish aren't feeding, the only thing is though, if it gets much windier than what it is now, you're going to be struggling to fish long tomorrow.
So I can fish on the feeder?
No, that's not happening. No, you're going to be on unless I wake up tomorrow morning, there's trees coming out of the ground. It will be a pole day. But yeah, this is what we're trying to do. He's trying to get into the feeder. He's not happening. That's not going to occur. So at the moment, just to let you put you through a few pointers, that's what I'm doing, trying to work out. Obviously, the next stage is we're just going to dob in on that maggot line. We fed like 25 maggots on that, literally just before we went back on this line. But we got double maggot at the moment. There's a few fish topping, and like I said, sometimes these F1s, especially F1s, they top. They're off the bottom. They're not really that bothered about feeding. They're probably a bit peeved off with the weather at the moment. But I'm sure when we get, it's like anything in the winter time, when you get your first bite, you can work from that. And but we're just trying to suss out sort of pellets and maggots at the moment. But at the moment, it's slow going. And obviously we'll catch up in a little bit and give you some more news in a minute. Hold on, mate. So what we've done is, this could be Zolt's nemesis, an F1. Yeah, Zolt! Yeah! Get in, he hates F1s. But not after these 2 days, he won't.
Jesus, that fish is cold.
It is very, very cold. I'm pretty shocked actually how cold the water is here today. But anyway, let's talk about the fishing. That's the most important part. Started on pellets. Started with a few fours. I thought the fishing was going to be like mega, and I'm sure it's going to be mega. But obviously, we all know that pellets, can be mega some days and not other days, depending on the venue and where you go. But we started on pellets, just thinking it was going to be absolutely instant, and it wasn't. And I said this after 10 minutes, I said, feed the maggot line. There's a bubble just come up on the maggot line as well. And he's dropped on that. He's had an indication. He had another indication, he missed it. And I've told him off already about his striking. He's not sort of following through with his striking. He seems to sort of, stutter a little bit, if you like. So that was a proper strike, and he's hooked the fish. But also he did sit there then. I said, look, come back, start feeding a bit more bait. So he's got a medium cab pot on there. This is where you've got to try and work it out. Now, straight away, from starting on pellets and catching nothing, in my mind, I'm thinking about my other deep lines now. If I need to change, what would be the bait? Probably maggots. What I've seen of it so far. So that's where we are at the moment. 4B14 F1 mag. I'm trying to get him to, obviously there's the option of catching on the drop. There's a lot of eyed in this lake. I think they'll be in sort of pockets, the eyed. Talking to Ben this morning, he did actually say that. He did confirm that and said, yeah, look at that salt. Now, which is where you've got to go a bit careful now. It's all about your feeding. You've had that bite very, very quick.
Yeah.
Do you go back out and feed another?
I wouldn't feed now.
Try it. This is what learning and teaching is all about. So he's fed like, I'm not sure how many maggots it is. We're certainly not going to count them. It's a medium cab pot. He's 3/4 filled it. Another F1 Zolt? Might be it's another F1, I reckon.
Looks like an eyed.
And you can see his confidence from just coming out last time. And he's not fished anything. He's just fish feeder fishing.
No, that's...
It's an F1 in it, or is that a cruising?
No.
There is quite a lot of cruisings in these lakes.
It's an eyed.
That's an eye. That's
eyed.
all right. There's nothing wrong with them. Look at the size of them. You get them, amongst the fish tomorrow, and you'll soon put a weight together. Probably a pound. 2 of them to an F1. Don't mind that. So yeah, the thing is with eyed as well, what I know about eyed, there's not many where I live. They are very, very greedy, very aggressive, and you can be quite aggressive with bait.
Should I phone up Andy May? That's how to fish for eyed.
No, you just carry on the way you are.
Okay.
No, Andy May's not going to be here to help you either tomorrow. He's too busy. That's what he said anyway. So yeah. So we're just going to go back in now, and I think that's that's the way we started. Pellets, very, very slow. We fouled up one fish. We've gone onto the maggot line straight away, getting bites, and I think at the moment we obviously got the edge line there. I'm just trying to get him to drop it in, drop his bulk straight into his maggots rather than wasting time trying to get it to go on, trying to get it to go down an angle.
I'm getting faster now.
You are?
Yes, I think.
Well, I'll be the judge of that, Zolt. Yeah, okay, that. See, so not feeding that time, bite immediately, not foul looking. That's what's going through my mind all the time. So next time, it feels like you've got to feed. You can't. That's a good fish, isn't it?
That's an F1.
Are you sure about that?
I think.
How do you know it's an F1?
I don't
You said
know.
you hate them. No, you don't. You didn't say you hate them.
I just don't like them.
No,
They are
don't
crafty.
care. It's
They
just
are
nice and
crafty.
steady. They are crafty. But they're good fish to catch, especially in the winter time. The only thing I think today with the depth of water it's probably this lake's a little bit deeper than what I thought. We might have to set a 4B16 up. That's a 4B14 on there. And we might be able to get away with a 4B16 or even a little bit heavier. Who knows? But definitely getting the feed. This is nice to get Zolt to get a few bites now. Oh, that's a good fish. But it's cold. You can just sense that air temperature is dropping, and it could go really cold tonight. If it goes clear, it will go cold. I'm not sure what the forecast is. I think it's getting down to like 5 or 6 tonight.
Even less, I think.
Is it?
Yeah.
So yeah, we've got to bear that in mind. Priming that inside, you'll probably see in the camera, Jamie will do some filming. We've got like a little bit of, because the bottom plumbs up a bit dodgy down the inside, we've got a bit of a landing net handle stuck out, and you'd have probably seen that on my little video I'd done a couple of years ago in Belgium. That's a carp, Zolt. Well done, mate. Hold him up for the camera, Zolt. They're beautiful carp in here. They're stunning, they are. So we'll be priming that up. Now, what do you prime it up with? Do you prime it up with micros? We got some 1 mils. I think a mixture of 1 mil, 2 mils, and then we can put a bit of corn on the hook, maggots on the hook. I think that's probably the way forward. But we're just going to carry on with this now. Double maggot on a 16 SFL, 011. I think 011, that 11 Dura will be bang on for anything that we're going to be hooking. Hold on to him, Zolt.
Hold on, guys.
Hold on, geez. You going to talk to the people or not bother?
No, you're talking enough, I think.
No.
I don't need to talk. You're talking too much anyway.
It's unbelievable. If it was a woman, if he was talking to a woman, it just wouldn't stop. It'd just be constant. Hello, love. How are you? When are we meeting up? What are you doing tonight? You've got the general public there, so it wants to speak to you, and you're not
Yeah,
interested.
but they're mostly not women who.
How do you know? There could be there could be your future wife watching. Anyway, let's get back to the fishing. It is brilliant fishing. Plumbing up just the same. Body out of the water that much. Now, one thing you've got to bear in mind is obviously we've got these other lines that we've plumbed up. Now, they might be really important tomorrow in the match. So, Zolt's going to have to work it out, and obviously I'll be here to help him. I might be here to help him,
I
just
hope so.
depends. But he might have to use them other lines to keep the fish coming. This might end up being a throw line. It's still too early yet. What you have got to go careful on these venues, if you start throwing and you make a mess of it because they come off the bottom, you can't catch them, you start foul looking them, that's where you just got to be a bit careful. But anyway, we'll see how we go. We started catching, getting a few bites. In my mind, maggots were, I don't know, I just had a feeling with the water temperature, the clarity of the water, maggots were going to be like the all-round bait today. And at the moment, after like 20 minutes, half an hour, that seems to be
Are we
right.
going to feed maggot on the edge as well?
No, I think what we do down the edge, Zolt, personally, I mean, bear in mind, it's 25 inches, wasn't it, when we plumbed
Yes.
up? I can only tell you what my gut feeling is at the moment, is the edges, depending on what happens tomorrow with people fishing, you know, when we look round or when I'm looking round, you'll be scanning people, you know, out of the corner of your eye, not looking like you did last time. Like, have a quick little glance, not staring at them, you know, like dogging them up. Is try and suss out. And I think the start today, by trying those pellets, it was slow.
Yes.
I just think the fishing's going to be a bit slower. They've just finished the festival here last week, and the fishing was amazing, and the fishing is amazing here. And I think if the festival was this week, it'd be completely different. I think it'd be a lot harder because the water temperature's dropped. Well done, mate. The water temperature's dropped like a plummet. We've had tons and tons of rain. And yeah, I think the edge will be probably bonus fish later on, I would say.
Okay.
That's what my gut feeling is, but who knows. But at the moment, Zolt's got another fish on now. That's a F1. This is what I want to happen for Zolt. I just want him to get into the fishing today. Maggots at the moment. And yeah, fingers crossed that we can just catch like this constantly for 5 hours tomorrow. Win the match. I'll take half his pool's money home with me.
Are you?
Job. Yeah, that's the count. That's the I've signed the contract for this, Zolt.
Oh, okay. I didn't.
Oh, they want me to do it, and so I'm only signing the contract for half the winnings. So yeah, so at the moment he's doing great. You can tell straight. But what's really nice for me is the way his roller setup wasn't particularly great this morning, but that was what obviously, you know, showing you guys exactly what to do. But the way he's plumbed up, the way he's cut his lines down, his rigs, he's forgot his SFL 16s, so he's going to get a, you know, told off for that. But it's brilliant, and that's what these things are all about. When we go coaching with people, you see that, and it all makes a massive difference at the end of the day. It's brilliant to see.
Okay,
I can't tell you
that makes sense.
the important. Yeah, it makes sense because the float's gone under. All right, so I'm going to go through that again. It's only a baby fish, but might be a crewy. Oh yeah! See, that is quality presentation, Zolt. You only catch a crewy when the presentation is bang on. Look at him. Don't see many crewies about nowadays. All right, so double maggot. All right, so bring your kit round, pot over, 3/4 fill that. So just lean out a little bit, tap them maggots in like that, right? And then bulk over the top, or even slightly to the right, and then fold it over, right? And as that float goes down, when it settles, then it's over. I'm not messing.
And you straight away fish.
No, I'm holding it dead still.
Where is your quality presentation? Come on.
That presentation there, Zolt, is absolutely A1.
Where is the fish?
Just hang on a minute. Like that, Zolt.
Okay. I didn't see it.
See? You get that bite or no?
Yeah.
All right, now I'm not throwing. It's only another little crewy. Just want to point out, how many crewies have you had, Zolt?
0.
That's not us, that's your eyes.
That's an eye.
All right. So we're going to go through that once again because it's huge. I've just got back on the pole because Zolt was getting like a few. We started throwing, and the temperature's really dropped. And I said to Zolt, I think it's time to change. So what we've done on the line at 10 meters was just put a few micros in with just the cad pot, not the big pot, and then filled it up with maggots. And we've just gone out. Zolt decided we wanted to have a cookie break.
It's a nice cookie.
It's a nice cookie. And because of the time of day, we've just put a few micros and a few 1 mil pellets down the edge. Because I did say to him, because he got a bit, we actually caught a couple of gudgeon in that on that short line. And I'm like, look, feed that long line, leave it 10 minutes. If that short line doesn't start kicking off again, we need to go across. And I've just gone on it. And just caught an F1 then, probably £4. And the F1's, and that's what you sort of got to think. I mean,
It was interesting that when we started to lose speed,
but we've not, that's right.
We had an eye and we didn't have any F1s, isn't it?
No. It's like the loose feeding was all right for a little while. And it sort of messed it up a bit. But we've gone across there. It's the bottom of the far shelf. And the first 2 bites have been F1s. But it's just got to put a little bit of float. It's really awkward light over there, actually. Where's that float Vaseline? Just put a bit of that on. It's brilliant stuff, that. It just holds that bristle up a little bit. And I've just got Zolt to feed the inside as well with a few micros, a few 2 mils. So I think that's going to be the next day. I'm sure tomorrow, if the fish do have a little go down the edge, we would try, or have to try, because if the carp feed, which I'm sure they will in some areas, got to give ourselves a chance of definitely catching some. So before we went on that line, because that sort of short line went, I got Zolt to put a little bit of baiting down the edge, and that would be our next move. And that's something that Zolt's going to have to do tomorrow. I think because it's cold, the edges might not work until late on. They might not even work at all. And he's going to have to look after that tomorrow. 2 hours to go. Right, I need to start priming that inside light. Even if he goes down with a little cad pot, plonks a little bit of micro pellet in, goes back to his normal lines, that's something that he's got to learn to do. And it's something that's in my mind continuously when I'm fishing. And that line there, see, he's just got some better quality fish again. And I've always said in my videos, that's a nice F1 Zolt, well done mate. I've always said in my videos, on these sort of venues, if you're catching the right fish that you're happy with, keep going. Yeah, prime up your edge line, prime up your other lines. When you stop catching the fish that you want, that is the time to move, especially during the winter. It's a gamble, you know. We haven't fed that line what Zolt's on now. That's now starting to go away. It might come back if you wanted to. Right, Zolt, feed that line, give that another 5 minutes, don't give it long. Straight over there, wallop. 2 great big F1s, an eyed, another F1 then. I think that's sort of the thinking process that a lot of people can't quite get, and that's what Zolt needs to understand for tomorrow. But the inside line for definite while he's fishing, I don't want to tell him everything. I want him to actually think for himself. You know, I don't need to prod, I don't want to prod him, and that's what you guys have also got to think about while you're fishing. Is right, time of day. You know, a couple of hours ago, I'm going to just prime a little bit of bait down that inside, and you might have to prime that over line as well, even though you've got to stop fishing for, you know, 30 seconds. Priming lines on these sort of venues in the winter are sometimes not the right, especially in the deep water, are not the right things to do. It's really, really strange. But we've not. The nice thing is we've not foul hooked many fish. I think we've only fished.
I foul hooked on the beginning
on the pellet line. You foul hooked one, didn't you?
When I used the wrong top kit.
Yeah, we started off. Yeah, Zolt started off on the wrong top kit. He was fishing a foot off the bottom, so he was actually fishing this rig on his short line. I was like, ooh. I was saying, is that top kit? He's like, yeah. I'm like, no, I don't think it was. I think you're plumbed up over there with a ghost kit. And he's like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. So we wasted the first 10 minutes on fishing.
Was probably 20.
And he did say to me, he said, them F1s don't really want to be off the bottom, do they? Like a foot off the bottom. I'm like, no, probably not. So anyway, I think we should have a quick go down that edge, because we probably fed that 20 minutes ago.
Yeah,
15 20 minutes ago, and before that sun goes down behind that tree line, because it's not far off, and then we'll call it a day.
And shoot off to the pub.
Shoot off for the pub, have a nice massive steak on Preston Innovations. See, there is good things to this as well, isn't there, Zolt?
Oh yeah.
So are we going down the edge, or are you going to put another bait on and have another go out there? Have one more go out there and we'll go down the edge. There. Well, tap a few more, before we do that then, just tap, use that pot, put some micros in, a few 1 mils, and then that'll be primed up. It's only a little tiny bit of bait, but that's what I would do. Nothing down there yet, Zolt?
Nope.
Oh, look. See that boil?
No, I didn't.
I did. There's a tiny little boil then on the inside.
Are you sure?
Yeah, 100%, mate. No, don't have to drag it into him. Just said, I just thought there was a little tiny, there was definitely a little boil there. But it's not in, is it?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So,
I didn't expect that in that sort of
no,
temperature.
you don't never know, mate, honestly. It's not been cold, has it? It's the first, I know the water temperature's like obviously gone down, but you never know, Zolt. You can. I've been to venues before, and oh yeah, but you just, I don't know what's the matter with you.
It's cold.
No,
My hands are cold.
it's cold, but it's not freezing.
My hands are cold.
Honestly, I don't know. You know, you got to man up a little bit, mate.
You telling me?
Just lift your rig out, flick it out, like flick it out towards. Yeah, that's it. And then in a minute we'll come back, put a few micros in just to see if something comes straight to it. Just drag that line because it's bowing in, see, that's it. Yep. Presentation's key, Zolt. Remember.
Yeah.
Well done, mate. So that was on a 4mm expander. So we just fed micros there. I just said this, Zolt, because I know expanders this time of year for carp can be brilliant. That might be an F. Is that an F1? So I think what we got to do tomorrow, Daniel, is go very careful about how much we feed, because I don't think you're going to be in there bagging. Maybe if you're down that end of the lake, the wind's been blowing down there.
What NDMA will give for it? I think 10.
A 10, I would give you a 7 for that.
Oh, come on.
Well, because I told you your line was moving your float. Right, right, and then just go down there with a few micros. Well, a few 2mm, a few 1mm.
Just on the catapult, not.
No, with a pot. I don't think we'll be picking a catapult up tomorrow. Just like I said, little thumb size, few 1mm and the same 2mm. Just a few. That's quite a lot. Mm. That dude. Well, good I don't swear on camera. Right, come on then. So you know what to do. Get that pot just under the water, just away from that. And then that 4mm expander straight over the top. I don't honestly know whether I want to fish in slightly deeper water than that. But we'll have to make a decision in the morning where we draw. But I think what we've learnt today, Zolt, for tomorrow, I don't think it's going to be solid.
No.
I think it's going to be a proper winter day's fishing. I think there'll be some good weights. I think you'll want £100. I reckon you'll want £100 to win it. Maybe even more.
Behind the float was the ballway.
Yeah, I'm a bit like, you know, would it be better to feed maggots down there? I just think with micros and a few of them 1mm, it's nice because you can just put different hook baits on.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? And I think it holds them in the peg. Yeah, just try and flick it that way. No, that way if you can, down the bank, so it comes in at you straight. That's it. So you don't have to do anything with your float. No, don't. Over. Just like that, all limp. Yep. See what I mean?
Yeah.
They're so bloody crafty. That's it. Limp. Like, let it go. A little bit different to what you're doing out there because it's nowhere near the depth. Yeah, well done, mate. Crafty, aren't they? But that's what this is all about. So what I'm going to try and get the Zolt do, it's only a little 4B10 F1 maggot, just with a few number 10s strung out, because it is 25 inches of water we're fishing in, and we're just letting it like flick in away from the pole tip because it is clear, and then just let the float do what it wants to do. It's completely different to when you're fishing in deep water. Out there I was trying to get Zolt to put the bulk in, fold the line over, let it all go down nice and quick, but down there it's completely different. Even though the bites we've had have been on the deck, a couple of times he's flicked it in, you see the float just like move where so much salt will come up and have a little look. So
would you feed again now then?
yeah, 100%. but not much Zolt. Just cut down on the feed. I don't think. I just don't think it's going to be feeding lots of bait. We'll try and catch one more, and then we're going to have to pack up because the sun's gone down. Even though it's still bright, the sun has gone down behind that mountain or hill, whatever you want to call it, Mount Everest. And then we're going to get back. We'll have a chat tonight. Do you fancy tying a few rigs tonight? Nah, no rigs being tied tonight. Right, flick. That's it. That's perfect.
I fancy for a nice big steak.
Yeah, I'm fancying a nice big steak. A few mushrooms, a few onion rings.
Yeah. Now hold on, in the morning you told me that you were on the diet. So
Not when there's steaks involved.
Ah, okay.
Zolt. Oh, little liner, look. That float even needs a little bit of float grease on it. Come on, one more for the customers. Maggots could be, it could be an out and out maggot job. That float is dotted down well, Zolt. I'm surprised you're seeing that, to be honest.
Actually, I do see it.
Well, fair play, because it is an absolute pimple. I thought you'd be moaning about that. Oh, I can't see it. Des, what's going on?
You never thought that I'm gonna fish like that either.
No, I know, but it does make a big difference. Do you want to just come back and put 2 red maggots on and see if it makes any difference a bit quick before we finish?
Yeah.
Just try that.
Put some grease on the...
Yeah, don't feed again, just put double maggot on. Because see how they're hanging off, look.
Oh yeah.
They're hanging off the back of the feed. They're not coming... Yeah, a little bit of it. Yeah, you don't have to stick the whole... You have to put the body in as well. It's like that. Nice bit of...
I didn't do
You
that.
did crack me up.
I didn't do that. Just
No,
for the record, I
was
didn't
winding
do
you
that.
up. The thing is, tomorrow, I think as well, if we have got a nice edge peg, I think we need to put like another 1 or 2 kits on.
Yeah.
Another 2 sections to get away from us.
That's what I realize now, that when we're fishing on the edge, that literally all of the fish I seen behind my float.
They're not this side, are they?
Yeah. Would you think like feed a swim and just
Maybe
fish
it might be worth.
behind it?
It might be worth just putting another section on, and just fishing a little bit up that section. Maybe not the full section, but maybe like 2 foot of it.
Yeah.
There's not many there, Zolt. It's not
No,
like
it's
they're not.
definitely
They're
not
not
in
even.
numbers,
They're not
but-
queuing up. That's for certain, mate. And we're also not going to sit there. See that one there? Look. See
Yeah.
that little tiny boil?
Yes.
Nowhere near any bait.
No, because at the moment I'm like a feed behind where we feed.
Yeah.
But all of the fishes just moved on that area, like
Yeah.
behind
They're just past it, aren't they? Look, right
Yeah.
where you float that, and that's past your bait. That'd be good size fish, some of them as well.
To be fair, at one point today I felt that we need to be aggressive with the feeding.
Yeah, then it went backwards, didn't it?
Yes, yes.
That's what we got to watch tomorrow, that you just don't overdo it.
Oh,
Keep-
you know that I love to overcook it.
I know you do like putting bait in, but that's what you got to, especially on these sort of waters.
Definitely.
Sometimes you can lather it in, and it just gets better and
Tomorrow we
better.
definitely won't bowl it
You won't
in.
be doing it. I don't think no chucking ground bait in. We can't use it
Yeah,
anyway.
anyway, we can't use ground
So
bait.
that's not going to happen. That's a big old F1, that Zolt, to finish off with. Never had an indication. And
No.
I thought, is he going to... And you were half asleep.
No, I wasn't. I wasn't.
That's a lovely fish to finish off. So we just put double red maggot on.
Whoa,
That's a lovely F1, that. That's the ones we want. He's a proper one.
Oh, hello.
Yeah, he's a proper one. Well, that's it. So we're going to let Zolt hold him up, show you all. I just said the result about the inside. What I've just sort of thought is it's going to be a tricky one because it's going to go really cold tonight. It is different in match circumstances, and I think probably you would all know when you go pleasure fishing on some of these venues in the winter, sometimes the fish can actually swim away from you. The fishing's been awesome. It's been perfect result today because it's not been, look at him. That's what we want tomorrow. That's going to be make or break fish.
15, 20 of them and I'm going to be happy.
Well, I was thinking about more like 30 or 40 result really.
Don't be greedy.
And £60 of oil on the way. But he's done brilliant. It's been a pleasure. He's been completely different today to the last time. I will say that, Zolt. Well done. You got my hands wet now. And it's freezing. So down the edge, I just said to him then, I'm not too sure whether we will feed it before we go on it. So what I mean by that is, do we feed it 2 hours to go and then look after it? Or do we actually do what we've done out there on that 10-metre line where you're ready to move, you pot in, leave it for just 10 minutes and then go in on it? That's a gamble.
To be fair, it's fat, like we just could go on the edge without
Hmm.
any feeding.
Time of day, you know, we're obviously not going to finish this late tomorrow, even though it's winter. No, it's only like, what was it, 3:30 or something like that, up at 4 o'clock. Obviously, I think it's 3:30 finish tomorrow. So yeah, I think he's done absolutely awesome. We're going to pack up now. We'll have a little chat about it tonight. We'll do some expanders. We're not going to do anything else. We'll chuck the pellets away and we'll do some fresh bait for tomorrow, apart from the expanders that we'll obviously do tonight. And yeah, I don't know whether expanders are coming to it. We always set up expanders. Like I said to you earlier in the film, we always set up some expanders. You never know from one day to the next. Hopefully the wind will let us fish properly tomorrow. And yeah, apart from dobbing bread, I don't think we're going to be doing a lot different. I think maggots are going to be a real big most of the day, I think.
Yeah, and I think that
Don't you?
should bring the maggots into the kitchen instead of the van because they just...
Yeah, they're not keen on this.
They don't really want to move today.
They're not keen on this cold weather, are they? So anyway, thanks for watching. Obviously, this is the practice match. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you've picked up some nice tips on fishing such a canal lake like we are on it, Monk Hall. And hopefully, the next time you'll see us, Zolt will be holding up a nice little brown envelope with first place on it.
To the McDonald's.
And we're going to McDonald's for a carve up. So anyway, thanks for watching.
You paying in a Mackie.
Oh, I'll pay. Don't worry. If you win the match, I'll pay for the next 3 McDonald's.
Okay. I'll really mind you.
No, he's done absolutely brilliant. Like I said, hopefully, after this film, you'll next see the next film, which will be the live match. Thanks for watching.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Oh, very nice.
You
Yeah,
see?
very nice. So anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the live match in a few days' time. Thanks.
See you later.